gamers? I just added like 4 or 5 songs that I know from TikTok to my playlist. So we're listening to it's TikTok vibes now. We've got TikTok vibes today. I still haven't fixed this chat, so just don't say many words. I still don't understand why I can't do anything with it. I've tried fucking around with it. It just doesn't work. It hates me. Anyway, how are we doing? How are we doing, gamers? Dominosh? Drake? Just don't say too many words, you know? I'm the wannabe, yeah. Hello, chef. Freak. Freak. Did that not work? Did what not work? What's not working? What are you trying to do? Is that the work that I had? Did you get blocked by something? Did Automod block you? He's got fucked up priorities. God is a bit of a freak, like what's the fixation? What are you trying to do? With God when he's a freak, like what should we get in? Oh, I don't know. I don't know, champ. It's not showing up at all, like, anywhere. My God, and he's a freak. Thank you, anyway. I googled a copy paster about letters. Okay. Why? But why? The work that he's doing, and I mean disrespectfully. God is a bit of a freak, like what should be getting railed on the. See, this one I can just change, but why could I not change the original one that I had? This will have to do for now. There we go. That will have to do for now. Like watching me getting railed on the couch and pure for a wedding. He's got fucked up priorities. Breaking Fossabot. What do you mean? Fossabot's perfectly fine, JFusion. Just don't look at anything that happened, like, within the last hour. I've been fucking around with Fossabot, okay? It's not my fault. Don't look at chat history. Don't look at chat history. It seems that there's no more cock left for me. What the fuck? What the fuck? I see. God, I really want a salted caramel blueberry milkshake now. I wish I had that kind of options. Even like if I go into Antwerp, I don't know anywhere where I could get that amount of options. For anyone who doesn't know. Champ was looking for what to get as a milkshake flavors, and the place that he was ordering from had like fucking, oh my god. Yeah, I'll just come to New York. I'll just fly across real quick. No biggie. No biggie. And so all the things. Champ sent me a list of all the flavors. There's like 50 flavors or something, and then you can have like combos of 2. It does sound like it's worth it, to be fair. It does sound like it's worth it. There's like strawberry banana is a flavor? Why is strawberry banana a flavor when both strawberry and banana are both flavors? Like, so in a way, you can have two different, because you can have, sorry, you can have two different ones. So you could have strawberry and banana, and then if you combine them, you have strawberry banana. But you can also just have strawberry banana as one flavor, so you can technically have three flavors, right? If you have strawberry banana and something else. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say? Is this only in NYC? There's probably other places as well.
An oatmeal container, a wooden bowl, a plastic water bottle, and a paper towel roll.
Need to be like here.
J-Fusion liggen just resubscribed for 18 months. 18 months of
18
this
months.
yes size.
Yes, yes. Wait, why is yes not working? Oh, it just doesn't work in the resub message, I guess. Anyway, thank you, J-Fusion, as well. That's very, very lovely of you. I really want, like a Go XLR kind of thing. So I can like, just, I really love like a slider for my volume, so I can just like do it with my slider real quick. That'd be so nice. That would help like so much. I feel so much. Oh, is Wheat listening to? Wheat, I told you, I've got illegal music. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me, Wheat. Also, why do you always just do you not have like two layouts at least for when you're copying, when you're just restreaming my stream, to at least have like a layout with that doesn't have this stupid shit? Oh my god. True, chef. I held down all the windows and I played a song I know. I really like this song. This is just, I don't know. I found this on TikTok as well. This is the last one of the TikTok songs. Lay for my martini with a smile. It's just happy vibes, you know? Well, my friend set me up on a date today and I forced myself to go, but the best part of the date today was driving myself home. Hello, Drake. How are you doing? Dress and I will I'm unusually free. But he shops at IKEA and I think that his idea of my life is just a girl with silly dreams. Yeah? Listen, it's episode 17 in total, but I don't know how many episodes into season 2 we are at this point, because I never actually wrote that down, so I don't know. Okay, J-Fusion, I don't know. People were confused when I didn't call it season 2 anymore, so I want to put season 2 up again, but you know what I mean? I don't know. Who can ever be sure? We could go back and just look, but I can't be arsed, so instead I did this. Anyway, what I did today was fuck around with Fossabot commands and try to learn how to work APIs. Which was interesting, and I learned a lot, but also it took me way too long to do something really simple. But it was interesting, and I was just reading a lot. I read up about a bunch of just things I didn't know. Oh, this is also a banger, to be fair. I also added this to my playlist recently. Bing bong, no! No, don't do bing bong. It was my secret test command. Bing bong. Cheeseburger. Why is it called cheeseburger? Not Bingus. I don't know. I felt more like saying bing bong today, you know? Anyway, I need to get Champ to set up the thing for me. Well, to help me set up the thing so that I can have it for my own channel and I don't need to use the Penguin one to cheat. They also have burgers, but they also have milkshakes. I see. I just some help. Yeah, right now it's doing random numbers, but that's because I changed it. What I wanted it to do was just like random numbers is pretty easy, but the fact that I also did not say I did not actually say what I needed from you after you asked that question, and then you still said okay, champ. I love it. It's just doing random numbers now, but that's because I changed it back to the to something else. But it shouldn't be doing that, you know. If I change, it's yeah. Only East Coast, I see. But yeah, that was just my test command because I was testing it on my channel. Before I did it on Pedguin's channel because I was fucking around with some commands over there. But yeah, the thing that Champ did was really interesting because Champ basically made it so that we can run any Python code in a Fossilbot command now, and so that's just really opened up the possibilities of things. I was talking to my brother about it a bit earlier, and yeah, he had some interesting ideas which I might look into. Maybe tomorrow if I've got nothing else to do, I'll work on that. Who can ever be sure? I'll see if I can add some funny commands. But yeah, Champ, what I wanted was if you could help me set up the Heroku thing, so that I could have it work for my own channel, and I'm not using just the Pedguin one, you know? And I don't really know how that part works, so like the rest of it I can figure out, but yeah. Also, I'm kind of excited to do more. That is true, Champ. That is true. I do have a GitHub now. I'm kind of excited to start doing some more streams on my own again. Maybe, because I've got some interesting games I want to stream. Well, first of all, I want to play the second Frog Detective game because I fucking loved the first one. It was very fun. Oh, this is a banger as well, by the way. This is like a cover of Bad Guy, but like a more heavier cover, which I really like. That'd be incredible, Champ, thank you. So yeah, I want to play that. Mubinsky also just gave me Everhood, which is a game I've been wanting to play for ages. Which looks really fun. Maybe I'll do that on stream. I don't know if that's a stream game though. But yeah, there's just a bunch of games I want to play actually. And I just never get to. But I'll do them at some point, I swear. I swear, I'll play the games. I want to play Heaven's Vault as well on stream, I think. That's a game I want to play on stream. It looks cute. And at some point we're going back to Riven, okay? I promise. I know it's been like a year at this point since I played Riven, but we're going back to it, okay? At some point we're going back to it. At some point. I'm thinking of maybe doing Uncertainly Accurate like 1 week and then doing something on my own the other week, because it feels like Wheat has also been wanting to stream on his own a bit, so if he does that on Wednesdays as well, I don't know. Let's talk to Wheat actually. I'm calling Wheat right now. Let's see what Wheat says. Hello.
What the fuck? I'm listening to your all about, oh yeah, I can't wait to do more things on my own.
Yeah, fuck you. I'm cutting you off.
This is it. This is the end of Uncertainly
This is the
Accurate
last
Fellowship.
Uncertain. No.
I'll have time to improve my FIFA rating, says Mum. I don't need to do that. My FIFA rating is long abandoned, although
Oh no.
I might actually be able to recover that.
Hmm. You're just drinking
Who knows?
water. What's that? No brother
Drinking water.
cider?
No, just water.
Strange. Very strange.
What do you mean strange? Healthy, more like.
It is healthy, but it's not. It's unlike you, you know?
No, it's not. It's more like me.
I love that
than
on
any
your
other thing.
on your screen. I have to be like here so that if people
Well, it's your
would
own
want to
fault.
see
You should
me,
know that I'm gonna show this.
you should know that when I start, my face is over there. You know. But anyway, hey, Wheats
Yeah,
chat.
well, it's my fault for putting a paint symbol up there. A paint symbol, paint window.
You should just not have that scene up yet. Oh, I went to the wrong
What would I
scene.
put up? This one? It'd be ridiculous.
Yummers.
It's horrible.
I didn't mean to.
The
actually
lighting's
go
all
to
wrong.
Yummers.
The screen
What is this
settings aren't.
about?
The
Oh.
audio's not synced.
You're not synced. Fuck you.
It's all broken. What if I did that on your screen now? What would that look like for you? Oh, it's
Why
just
is
nonsense. It's just
why is it not
ridiculous.
loading your stream again? Fuck you, change the topic. We've only just got here. Neither magician's assistant in their dreams.
Well, we're not talking about the speed of light, that's for sure. Have you broken my stream? What have you done?
It's fine, we're just watching an ad again.
Oh, and you've moved stuff.
I've not moved anything!
Then why is there
It's-
suddenly red lines on my screen as well as
Because
my blue
you've
borders?
moved something, clearly. I've literally not changed anything. There we go.
I would never move anything. What is this? Why is this? Why is that somewhat see-through as well? Hang on.
You made it a bit see-through last time. It's
didn't
really
do that
windy,
on
by the way, so
purpose.
if you can hear the wind on my window.
What a
Here's to
mess.
New York City.
Oh, your lines are thicker than they used to be.
They're not. They're literally the same. I
Yeah,
literally
they
did not
are.
touch this scene.
They
Wait, okay, you're lying.
They
You're lying.
are. Why else would this not work, huh? There's no
I can
other
try,
reason.
champ. I can try. And it
No,
can't
that's
stop.
still not right.
Lady, running down to the riptide, making our way to the dark side. Left.
Okay, there we go. That's good enough.
I love you when you're
Why are these see-through now? When did that happen? I can't have left them transparent, can I? How did I even do that?
Champ. How has this happened, champ? Isn't it like winter? I don't know what that means in Celsius.
Oh,
But-
there we go. Opacity.
85 is alright, isn't it? I'd never remember. I remember 100 is like... Is 100 like normal human temperatures or something? Or like really
What are we talking
warm?
about here?
No, 100 is
Oh,
warm.
Fahrenheit. I
okay.
don't know.
Yeah, I'm very bad at knowing what Fahrenheit is.
Like,
Running down to
that's a
the
good thing.
riptide, making our way to the dark side. Human temp is 98. Okay.
There we go.
That's-
Problem solved.
Okay.
Border's ready. Border's done. Music. I haven't got music playing. How boring that must be for all of everyone.
Don't always need music.
And for
just
me.
Just a bit of talking
No,
is
we
fine.
do. We do.
Hmm.
I'm
Gripping
gonna use
podcast
This
stories.
playlist. The UNFD Safe for Twitch playlist made by a record company ages ago. Let's use it.
Sure.
There we go. It's rock music.
Yeah, I know that is what it is, champ, but I'm not doing that in my head. I'm not doing that in my head, so. I get a lump in my throat, cause you gotta think the words from. Right.
Hello. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this thing
Hello?
on?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you not hear me?
I'm just trying to figure out where my audio level is. Okay,
Oh,
there we go. I need to turn it up because otherwise I can't hear myself. But I presume now levels are perfect. No, they're not. Music's too loud.
Why not? This is uncertainly accurate. True! We should be doing it. We should be doing that, actually. That's a good point.
Bam. Sorted.
There's that one math question. What do you mean? It was really interesting. I found it really interesting.
I brought that up in something, actually. I went to some meeting of some kind and it came up.
There you go.
Yeah. I mentioned it because it was something that stuck in my mind as being completely stupid.
What did they say?
Yeah, that does sound stupid. When you just go in and say you can mathematically prove that adding 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 to infinity is equal to minus 1 over 12. Where does the conversation really go from there?
The problem is that there's a lot of background that
Gonna
goes
be honest.
into that.
Well, yeah,
you know?
but as pickup lines go, it's not as good as Star Wars.
You're just out in a bar, just talking to some random person. Did you know that if you add up fucking all the natural numbers, you get -1 over 12? Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
So yeah, I've gone back to talking about black holes in bars. So
Yeah, that's way more interesting. Speaking of, well, not black holes, but similarly,
Bars.
If you bars.
Speaking of bars.
Have you noticed the new change to the image today?
Oh, I haven't even looked. Oh, my other eye. What's happened to it? Is that a model of the solar system?
Originally I googled neutron star. And this is like a spinning neutron star or something. I don't know. It was an image that looked cool, and I was like, I'm taking it. I'm not even entirely sure if it is a neutron star or if it's like a.
Why is the line only coming out one side, or is that just cropped because my eye is the other bit?
Yeah, it's just cropped.
Ah, I
Because it's
see.
inside
Yeah, okay, that makes
your
sense.
eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pulsar then, spinning rapidly, firing off radio.
Oh,
waves.
this black hole has been here for a while, champ. It's this one. That's the new one. It's the other side.
Damn
is
it,
the new
champ!
one.
Even I'm paying more attention than you.
Slowly, wheat is becoming some sort of space monster, and I love it.
I'm curious what can be
Wise,
done.
I think
there.
you're in the wrong
Both my
chat.
eyes have changed.
Yeah, we'll see what is next, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, if we're lucky today, we might learn about how cars work, but...
Maybe the next
cares?
step is to mess about with my the spot I've got on my forehead. Maybe that will make an appearance on the image. I hope it doesn't. It needs to go. I'm going kickboxing tomorrow. Imagine getting punched on that. It's going to be agony.
Maybe you're gonna get punched on your ears again, or whatever.
I've recovered from that. It's fine.
Okay, good. Have we talked about why
took a
that was a
while.
problem yet?
No,
Or is that
I'm
still
still
in
not
the-
entirely sure. I want to know.
Is it still on the list? I can't see it.
It should be, right?
Is it?
Unless you purposely got rid of it to make me fear for my life some more.
Maybe I just never added it. I can't see it on the list.
Unbelievable. I think I remember seeing it. There was
Yeah, I
the ear
swear
one
it
on there.
was. What was
Yeah,
it
I remember
called?
because we ended up on the one next to it
Wait,
3
what was it
times
called?
last time.
Oh, kickboxing. I'm just blind.
Oh, I see.
It's on the wheel. I couldn't see it on the other thing. Maybe I'm just... we'll figure it out. We'll figure
Makes
it out.
sense. Makes sense.
Okay.
And that was me just
Speaking of the
thinking
wheel.
about ears.
Let's see. It's a short one to start with. Oh, a classic.
The
You
space
can-
shower. Here we
you
go.
can
This
do
is
this
so
again.
topical now. This is
It's so topical. It's only been like
so
3
topical.
weeks. That's one of our main ideas here, is being topical with the things we talk about. We try to really, stay on the news, stay on that grind to talk about recent events.
Yeah. So it was an interesting.
Anyway, here's a
concept
question
that-
from the 23rd of January.
from our good friend, indirectly,
Almost a month ago.
Pedguin. So here is a drawing of Pedguin
Yeah.
in
okay.
space. So their hair's all over the place, right?
Jesus Christ, it's very windy.
Yeah, it's. Oh no, that,
I
no,
meant
that's their
in
hair
real
floating
life,
from
not
space. So they're in space and they're flowing around, and they're in a normal Earth shower. Would you believe? Which looks a bit like that, I believe. And water is coming out of it, right? Being propelled out of it, pushed out of it, I should say, with force. So it has a direction of motion to begin with.
Yeah.
Then-
I mean, but also, so I think that's already wrong. Because surely a normal space shower, a normal Earth shower in space, I feel like it just wouldn't work already, because it works with pressure. Right? And
They have air in their thing. Like, the place they're in, the whole point of it is that it's pressurized.
Well, yeah, but
right?
it uses pressure from...
Look, okay,
gravity,
we've installed water mains on the ISS, okay? I'm going to be honest, I've already checked, they don't use actual showers in space.
Yeah,
so
no
we're
shit.
dealing hypothetically...
Because literally actual showers do not work in space. Because you can't... There's no way to get that propelling...
I disagree. I think there is. But they just don't do it because it's
well, not
completely
a normal
inefficient and
shower wouldn't. You need some kind of other jet to...
Oh, yeah, like a
shoot.
powered shower, an electric shower.
Yeah. You need some
Yeah,
sort of
well,
jet to shoot the
those
water out.
exist.
Because otherwise,
so-
even if the water would come out, you would just have like a shower head. That's not a good color. Let's get a good color for a shower head. You'd have like
Look.
a shower head. Like imagine this is a shower head, and there's like here's all the little binguses that the thing comes out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the water would just kind of like pool up around the shower head. And because there's no gravity, it would just kind of stay there.
I mean, yeah,
Because
if
it
you're
just
letting
stays in a
drip
bubble.
out very slowly. But we have some water pressure in
Okay,
space.
let's
We've
assume
got
there is
that.
enough pressure to like propel it down a tiny bit.
Yes, it is. If this shower was put on Earth, it would be perfectly functional. Just take maybe the shower you've got and imagine it in space. And you're in a showering cubicle. Why not? And then, so the water has come out and it's hit you. And then, obviously, what would normally happen is the water would run down you and go away down a plug hole down here somewhere, which I've inconveniently also drawn in blue. Possibly off camera. It's off camera. Brilliant. Just imagine it. I'm sure you can manage that. But what happens in space is that the water don't do that. So there would be bits of it floating around
It would just
you
kind of like
in-
be on your head
in-
and just kind of...
in bubbles. It would stick to you, like you'd look like you had like drops stuck all over you.
Yeah.
However, the question here is, would
It
you
also just kind of like
drown?
bounce off you, probably. You definitely
Yeah,
wouldn't
it bounces
drown.
around. So there's bits of it floating around you and bits of it just sticking to you through surface tension. And you could, if you so desired, make a giant ball of it by just pushing it all together, and you could have great fun playing around with this great balls of water that you have.
But yeah, because of water surface tension, it stays together very nicely.
Yeah. However, the question Pedguin has is, would you drown? And the concept here is one I struggle with. The question was very poorly framed.
Yeah,
So,
obviously.
I think there was one misunderstanding that was taken from what Pedguin could mean to be, would the shower cubicle just fill up with water and you would drown that way? The
In a
answer
way,
is,
yes, because there's no...
it might.
Yeah, because there's no... Even if there's a drain on the floor, like, the water's not falling down, so...
Yeah.
It's just kind of staying around. So if you leave it on, yes, I guess it would just fill up.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why showers in space just don't work.
Yeah. However, as raised by other people at the time, that would happen if you sealed off an earth shower. So that's nothing fancy. And Pedguin seems to think, no, that's not what they meant. So we've erased those lines of the water filling up. Possibly what they meant was, would you just breathe in all these water droplets floating around you and therefore drown that way? For which the answer may simply just be no. Because there's this interesting concept where you don't have to breathe in everything that ever enters your mouth. I know, hard to understand, hard to accept.
Pedguin diving underwater. Yeah, I'm dead now. I have to breathe. Oh shit.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, exactly.
yes, I'm about to die. Watch.
No. Shit.
I lived, bitch.
What the fuck? Anyway,
I lived, bitch.
this is what would happen if there's water on your face or in your hand or whatever.
Yeah.
Kirby?
Yeah. Kirby says this, and yet says it in your chat.
True.
So yeah, that would happen. You would not drown in that way. The fear that I think Penguin could also have is, could you form a ball of water around your head? The answer is yes. However, you could also get it off you quite easily.
Yeah, I feel like it could form around you, but I think just blowing is enough to like move it around, so it's not a problem anymore.
Like,
you know?
Yeah, like she's got water on her hand.
It's called being a ventriloquist. It's actually a ventriloquist.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite impressive of me.
That's true. It's true.
Like she's got water on her hand there. It won't stay there forever.
There you go. You did it again. Well, it will stay there forever if I leave the video paused.
True, but I imagine it's not that difficult for her to get it off her hand. Let's see how she gets it off her hand, shall we?
Let's see if she gets. She's talking about how an electrical magnetical field. I'm not listening to it, but I'm looking at the subtitles. She's just talking a lot.
Maybe the video's just going to end with it still there.
Oh,
and then
no, she wipes it off.
Oh.
With a little paper towel.
Oh.
A paper towel roll and a... Wait, that's not how it works. And a paper towel roll, that was it.
Yeah, so as you can see, if you get water on you in
and
space,
you try to wipe it off your mouth, you'd just be leaving water behind. Well, yeah, but I think also... Okay, I don't know if you heard that.
Yep.
I feel also, if you're completely covered in a... First of all, how would you get completely covered in a film of water? That feels like you've been standing in that shower for a long time without noticing it building up around you.
Yeah.
Secondly, of all, if you just like do that,
it needs to be a perfect seal.
Yeah, exactly.
You need it. Oh no, the water has formed a perfect seal over my mouth, and there's no way I can breathe. It's like water isn't like particularly sticky.
Just like literally touch a wall, and you've broken the seal on your hand, right? And like,
oh no!
You know what I mean?
My hand. That's right, everyone. Go and touch a wall.
It does, champ. But also, opening your mouth. There's air in your mouth as well. So if you just like open your mouth and go, it will make like an opening.
Yeah, the concept is like you could end up with just being covered in water, but that's no different to like on Earth. Like if your hand is wet and your mouth is wet and you wipe the wetness off your mouth,
it's a bit different because it's a thicker film because it's
but it's
even
still
stronger
like,
to stay together.
You can't
you know?
dry your face with a wet hand. Like you would distribute. If your hand was dry and you wiped your face in it, which was wet in space, you would end up with both things being a level of wetness that was not the wetness of your face beforehand, but they would both still be wet. This is that's almost philosophical, that one. So yeah, you would have a good time with that, but you wouldn't drown.
I feel like you'd have to try really hard to drown like that.
Yeah, and even then you'd struggle.
Yeah, you'd have to really try really hard, but at the end of the day, they don't use normal showers in space. Because they just don't. It's just a fact.
Because imagine trying to set up water pressure up there. They just use a wet towel, essentially.
Yeah,
they use
that
a
makes
wet
sense.
towel and some shampoo or some shit.
I mean, I don't think Ped was right. I think it's possible, but unlikely. You know?
No, yes. The thing is that
it's
Pedguin
possible,
was saying is that it was
possible in the same
certainty.
way that it's possible to drown in a puddle. You know?
It's
like,
possible
yes,
to drown in a regular Earth shower. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Pedguin
just
was
as
saying
possible.
it in the sense that if you had a shower in space, you would be
You would always
guaranteed to drown.
Yeah.
Not that it was a possibility. Not that it was a minor possibility that one could experience.
Exactly.
So
But yeah, I can drown in a puddle because I'm very petite and dainty. True eyes.
Oh no, Pinocchio's in chat. Anyway.
What the fuck? Father, when can I leave to be on my own? When can I leave to drown in a puddle? I'm very petite and dainty. Shut the fuck up. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake.
Anyway, bam, covered.
Boom. Question answered.
Oh, why did I do that? Hang on, sorry.
Wheel spun. Wheater. When can I leave to be on my own? Space gas. We've gone from space liquid to space gas.
Nice.
We've got a theme. We've already established a theme. We love it. We love to see it. Why is this one a separate question? Is what I'm wondering. Why did I not add that to the quickfire? Who can ever be sure? Who can ever be sure?
What have you done?
What? What if space wasn't space and just filled up with gases?
Well, then gravity doesn't exist. And we're all dead.
What if the entirety of space would just suddenly be, like, filled with, like, atmosphere level of gases? Like Earth's atmosphere.
Oh, I see. So if it suddenly appeared, okay. That's a bit of a different question then.
Yeah, I think that's the most interesting part, because if we just say it was always like this, well, then like gravity wouldn't have happened and shit. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that would make it a more interesting question. So what would happen if just gases appeared everywhere instead of space? I feel like we'd
essentially be in a new age of the birth of the universe, because gravity would still pull everything together. Including the gases. Like, some would gather around planets, some would gather around other things. So yeah, mostly you would get
let's look at our solar system. What would happen, right? So at the sun, it would just start sucking up everything close by to it. It would probably create some kind of like, it would probably have like every planet and shit would like start to form an accretion disk of the gases that are around it.
Yeah, we'd have a fascinating like, if you could look at it like in a kind of like top-down view, it'd look great. You'd have planets pulling everything in, but everything moving in towards the sun. Some of it getting stuck to planets if it gets close enough.
You'd have some things like that.
It would effectively mean we'd all die for both the reason of friction and also
packing everything with more gases would just fuck the sun, like would just fuck all the like light from the sun.
All your orbits
basically.
are broken.
True as well, actually. Yeah, everything get fucked, but it would look very pretty.
Because everything would get heavier as it accumulates more gas. But the things that would get heavier by the most would be the bigger things, and it's not proportional. I think gravity is a square function of something. No, it's proportional to mass, but radius over radius squared. But it's something like that. Anyway, the bigger things would get more of it because they're so much bigger. So that's true also. The expansion of space would be a fucked problem.
How come?
But because the reason space is expanding is because the force of dark energy expanding the universe is higher than the gravitational potential of the entire universe. And so, therefore, it's expanding. And because it's higher and seems to be getting higher and higher, it's accelerating more and more. Although, I had a thought on that, but I don't think it's going anywhere. So, yeah, essentially...
I like that you're still looking at Penguin in a space shower, by the way.
Yep, he can stay there. He can stay there.
Sure.
So, yeah. Yeah, you could potentially get enough gravitational potential energy to overcome dark energy, and then suddenly you end up in a big crunch universe. Where it expands and then reverses and then all collides back together again, and everything ends Big Bang 2.
Yeah, the idea of the big crunch is this is the start. It expands and then it goes.
Yeah.
I remember
So
that.
yeah.
I remember
So
learning about
suddenly everything that was currently in a stable orbit is now ended, but you've also formed a whole bunch of new stuff. You'll get new galaxies. Yeah, I don't. I can't
that.
really
Yeah,
say
because
much
there's
more than
suddenly a
new
bunch
galaxies.
more mass everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So, and that mass is gonna collide and create friction with itself and just create new. First of all, would planets just like suck them up and become larger? Would new planets start to form?
Yeah.
On
Assuming that the gases that you're getting there is like any type of gas. Like obviously, if it's all one type of gas, then suddenly, oh, well, then again, I suppose it would just be the birth of the universe again because it would all fuse together in stars.
Yeah,
over
would
time.
it depend on? So what would it be worse? It would be worse if it was a denser gas, probably, right?
Yeah, because then stars wouldn't burn. Like any gas higher in the periodic table than lead, you're not getting stars. So yeah. Yeah, if it was just hydrogen that appeared, iron, that's the one, not lead, sorry. If it was just hydrogen that appeared, then you have a whole bunch of new stars forming, and the universe is suddenly a lot more populated than it used to be.
Yeah. So let's say it's Earth atmosphere everywhere, right? So a bunch of nitrogen and a bit of oxygen. I don't know what else there is. There's a bunch of different gases, but those are like the main ones.
So
CO2.
you probably wouldn't get rocky planets forming for a while. You would get gas giants and stars forming, and then as stars go on to die, they would release the heavier elements when they explode. Or, as some theories put it, when two of them form neutron stars and then eventually go on to collide and release all the stuff. That's how, like they're saying, these super heavy elements get released into the universe. So yeah, you would things would be hot. Yeah, you've essentially reformed the universe at that point, just on a much larger scale than before. And so then what happens is a question of how dark matter and dark energy relate to that. Would they do something similar? Would that make them... Because you've substantially altered the balance of the universe by doing that.
Well, yeah, we've just created mass from nowhere.
Yeah.
So that is a big thing.
Yeah, so I think the way that it's said up to now is I think it's 5% normal matter, 20% dark matter, 70% dark energy. And it's difficult to say how much matter that is, seeing as you've just filled in every gap in the universe, including like the gaps between galaxies. So it's kind of tough to say. I feel like that would be... You suddenly made matter like the 70% or something like that.
Well, yeah, more probably. If literally the entire void of space is filled with gas, that's probably like, I don't know. That feels like that would be like in the 90, if not 99% at that point, surely.
Yeah. So suddenly you're almost guaranteed to have the big crunch. You would have a lot of collisions.
There's so much mass.
Everything would be a lot hotter. And everything would be a lot deader. For a time. It might settle down. It depends how quickly everything starts contracting back together again. Like, how quickly would already existing galaxies start colliding with each other? I mean, it would still be like...
If you're looking to reset the universe, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Which, if anything, this conversation is quite interesting in why space being empty is important. And also why it is empty in the first place. It's empty because things gather up around each other from gravity. But if it wasn't empty, then, well, it can't not be empty because gravity does that. But, yeah, you ruin everything by just adding more stuff.
It's true. It's true. More is less.
Yeah.
That's what we learned from that. It's an interesting idea, honestly. That's a good one. That's actually a more interesting question than I originally thought.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Fog?
our worlds in particular, everything that we see is matter. But in terms of what's actually in the universe, might not actually be matter. Well, it's almost certainly not matter in most cases. Or it might be, I should say.
yeah.
Because I can't just say it's almost certainly not this when it could be. Because dark matter is just, we have no idea.
Yeah, we have
other than
no
it's
idea
there.
how much there is of it, where it is, why it is.
How much
When
there
it
is of
is.
it, we can calculate because we can see the gravitational effects of it.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, but even then.
But even then, we don't know anything about it other than that. What I think we're confident of, though, is that it's not just like hidden black holes. Actually, that's a lie as well, because there is one theory that it's a bunch of very small black holes that we just can't detect because they're so small.
Just mini black holes.
But
Maybe
yeah.
there's like a mini black hole right here.
Yeah,
we don't
it's
know.
tough to say. I think
We have
like
no idea.
1 solar mass black holes or stuff like that. So not exactly tiny, but oh, there you go. Look at that.
There
I
we
was
go.
so close. That
Oh,
sounds about
something
right.
like that. So that
thanks-
we're not
thanks,
even sure
Cam.
if that's true.
Thanks, Cham.
Thank you, champ. Okay, that's enough. Next question.
That's the one, yeah. Primordial.
We're going for a longer spin. 15 seconds. Primordial black holes. What's
Yeah, they've got
different about
cool
that?
names. They're just the small ones.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, that was from a quick Google. Okay. We're doing it! It's happening! Pog.
What the fuck? Oh,
Mario Kart.
okay. What happens here? Does that mean we're on a break?
We're playing
from
Mario
now?
Kart. No,
It's time for my first Mario Kart speedrun.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
doing
have
a
to
Mario
get
Kart
the
speedrun right now.
Nintendo 64 ROM and play that. I'm afraid I don't have a
Nintendo
Switch.
64?
Yeah,
What? Just play
Mario
what?
Kart Nintendo 64. Come on,
What?
I had that.
Okay.
I'm not playing the same Mario Kart as you. Fuck off.
Why not?
I don't
What
have a
the
Switch.
Fuck. Get a Switch then. Do you have a Nintendo 64 right now with you?
No, but I know where one
What the
is.
fuck is your point?
I said I was going to play a ROM.
Well, then why just get the Mario Kart 8 ROM? I don't know if that exists. Who knows? Play Garfield Kart instead. Anyway, would heavy cars have lower or higher top speeds? Okay.
Oh,
so
there's
here's
actually
the
a
thing.
Dragon Ball kart.
Fuck's sake. Here's the thing. In Mario Kart, the heavier characters have a higher top speed than the lighter characters. Which feels a bit self-contradictory because you have a higher mass, so how can you have a higher, like, the higher your mass is, the lower your top speed should be, right? In a way. Is
All
that
else
true?
the same, yes.
Right, but because you're in cards, you're also, I think the idea is it's probably also influenced by shape a lot, but it's also just like traction. Definitely if you're going fast, this is a thing you see a lot in like Formula 1 and stuff. The reason cars have like big spoilers on them is because otherwise they literally just wouldn't stay on the floor because they'd go so fast they'd tip up basically and they just fly off. They literally generate lift because they're going so fast, which would just fuck them. And by having a spoiler, they generate anti-lift to push down, which helps them keep on the floor. And they need to be quite chunky and heavy to have good traction with the floor, I think, is the idea.
There's a whole bunch of gaps in them which let air through as well.
They're very aerodynamic,
yeah.
for sure, because they need to let
all
as
of it
much
is
air
trying to-
through,
Yeah.
while also pointing the air in a way that it pushes the cart down, basically, and also it generates more normal force without increasing mass. Yeah, exactly. By having the spoiler. and having the friction. Friction is just normal force, but opposite. No, perpendicular? Because friction's this way, right? And normal force would be that direction. Right? Is that true?
Yeah.
I think that is how it works. Because friction is like... friction is like some constant times normal force.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that isn't top speed. But so the idea is that there is
put more downforce on it, and that essentially glues you to the track, if you want the simple words for it, which allows you to get more friction and more grip.
Yeah, if you have more friction, your wheels can spin better, and at this speed, just having your wheels stay in contact constantly gives you more speed, like gets you to speed up more as well. Whereas if when you're at a lower weight, you'll push down on the floor less, which means also you just can't go as quickly because your wheels will spin out, right? Surely? I assume? I don't know. Do you have any ideas on this?
How do you mean? By having more downforce? Yeah, more friction in general means you can stick to the ground and be able to apply more torque.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's fine.
They have it will take more force to accelerate, but you will be able to.
But you'll be able to apply more force at one time. So it's a balancing act.
How do you usually calculate a car top speed?
I don't know. You want to look at rolling resistance, I think, if you're looking at it from a friction point of view. And then that, I imagine, will interact
and on frontal
with...
sides because of air resistance.
Yeah, the question here is, would heavy cars have lower or higher top speeds? The answer is lower, because they have more friction. And therefore, they have more rolling resistance.
But also, you need a certain amount of heaviness to go higher, you know?
Sure.
You need friction to go fast.
But also, going faster requires more energy if you're heavier. And if you're assuming everything else is the same, then you would be going slower.
Well, are we assuming everything else is the same?
Well, we have to. Otherwise, this is a pointless question. If you're asking, if other things are allowed to change, the impact of having a heavier car, then you might as well just ask, is this car faster than this one? How long is a piece of string? So, everything else is the same.
The idea is, because originally the question came from Mario Kart, things like, why is Roy, our boy, who's a big Koopa boy, why is he faster than baby Mario?
So if everything else is the same, then the lighter you are, the faster you would accelerate, obviously. The heavier you are, the better you would be at turning, but you would speed up slower. Top speed, I would think, almost... So certainly, I'm going to say that heavier cars would not have a higher top speed. If everything else is the same. However, I think they would have a lower top speed than lighter cars. If everything else is the same. Because, if you had it depends, to be honest, because there's a balance to be met between how fast you want to go and how much downforce you can give to your car. Because at some point, because if you're generating downforce, you don't need the car to be heavier. So, for instance, they're not going to make an F1 car heavier because it wouldn't make it faster, even if it was in a straight line. Drag racers aren't heavy cars. They're just cars with a huge spoiler on the back. making them heavier wouldn't give them a higher top speed. Even if I mean, obviously drag races you need to accelerate, but if you were just trying to get a car to go as fast as possible, you wouldn't make it a heavy car. Because you can generate proportionately much more weight, the normal force as it is, from having the spoilers and the downforce from air. So it's pointless to have a heavier car. However, if you're not generating any downforce at all through your car, well, other than enough to keep it on the road and not flip up, in that case, because I imagine go-karts aren't particularly downforce monsters. Still don't see them being faster. Like, they would turn better. Acceleration would be better for the lighter car, but I'm thinking, like, when you're going at speed, would you accelerate faster then? Like, the naught. So if we say, like, you know, they do cars 0 to 60, 60 to 100 or whatever. Good question. Don't know. I don't know enough about that. What's this thing say on screen?
I'm reading it right now, but
Sure, I'll do some research then.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just say the car is heavier because it's got a bigger engine in Mario Kart. That would work perfectly fine. However, then they've all got listed as their 150cc engines. So, you know, maybe if you take that as a guideline, perhaps, and say, like, maybe it's a range of 140 to 160, then yeah, you could say the heavier cars have a 160 engine, maybe. But
the thing is, the car is the same. The only difference is the character in Mario Kart. Right?
Oh, I see.
So the idea is, why is a heavier character faster than a light character? I mean, it already doesn't make much sense. It has a higher top speed. It's got a heavier character has a higher top speed than a light character. Yeah, I mean, it could just be that they're trying to balance it out. They're trying to balance it out so that they give heavy characters less handling, but then they're like I can see this to be just a straight up thing. Like, they don't, they just didn't think about it. But I'm just wondering if it is an option. You know, what I see here is this is basically asking the question, right? If I have a car with a particular engine optimized shape and weight distribution wise for attaining the top speed possible, and I put that engine into a car which is heavier but otherwise the same shape and design, will the heavier car have the same top speed in the real world? And this answer says the heavier car will accelerate slower because F equals ma, right? And the mass is larger, so if you have the same force, then A is gonna be smaller. Oh
fuck.
But at the end of the day, it's about friction, which determines the max speed. What happened? What are you talking about?
Sorry, I just realized I had Spotify up on my stream instead of you. It could have been worse, but you know.
Air resistance basically only affected by the shape of the car, says this. So it probably doesn't even have a big change. The only change is literally the shape of the character, says this. But there's also an update which I haven't looked at yet, which is the force diagram. Wing aerodynamic forces are really the wind-specific drag plus F-wing. We're talking about increasing the weight of the car. That increases FG and F ground because in real life the wheel friction force has a significant dependence on the weight. From an energy perspective, heavy cars scale energy linearly by mass, and since energy is integral force, we are looking with respect to mass of forces. Yeah, I don't know about that, Jump. Why is my camera doing weird things?
So what I have here as an answer is, the problem you formulate is that these two cars are identical, aside from the mass difference. So let's just limit this to two identical cars where one has an added weight in it. The heavier car will accelerate slower, because it will. Friction, which determines the max speed along with the force, is a little bit more difficult. The air resistance is basically only affected by the shape of the car, so this is unchanged. The heavier car, however, will have greater ground friction from the contact between the wheels and road, and because of that will have a slower max speed. One way you can convince yourself that the tyre friction depends on the weight of the car is just consider that the tyre deforms and creates heat and greater mass. There was an interesting one that oh yeah, I see. Yeah, you're in a different one. You're in the same one. So if I just scroll.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, they will probably have less because of what we were saying. Because they're heavier, they have greater friction. They have greater tire friction with the floor, so they're gonna have a lower top speed. There's probably an ideal as well, still, I think, because if you go too low a weight, as is, like, you have the problems that we have in real life with race cars that you need, like, you literally generate lift, so you'd fly off, right?
Yeah.
If it's heavy enough, could there be some sort of gravitational time dilation effect? Yes, but that would be very heavy. We'd be talking very heavy.
Yeah.
For that to happen. Or very fast. But I don't think Mario Kart cars go that quickly. The weight gets less, as the weight gets less, the top speed would increase. Yeah, but also there's just like a point at which you're going too fast that your lift is too high. You don't, like, yes, your top speed would theoretically be higher, but also you would just not get there because you'd fly off before that, you know? Yeah. Speaking of flying off, my fucking window's gonna fly off in a minute.
Yeah, so there's a balancing point to be had, but from what we've seen of Mario Karts, they're not having a problem with downforce. The problem with the elephant isn't speed, it's the lack of acceleration. Yeah, but even so, it would have a lower top speed because the rolling resistance is so much higher.
Yeah, that is true. It would still
resistance. Rolling resistance. I briefly covered this. I don't remember much about it.
This thing does say here. The second answer here, someone says it will increase top speed, but it's got 2 negative votes, and this answer has 8 positive votes. So I don't know how accurate this is, but this is increasing mass increases inertia, and increasing inertia increases top speed. But also rolling resistance increasing with mass. However, this can be offset by adjusting tire pressure, so it's relevant. But we're not adjusting. Like, there's only so much you can do with adjusting tire pressure, surely. That true is aimed at the lack of downforce in Mario Kart. Yeah. Well, we don't really know. Maybe they just have, like, maybe that's why the small characters can't go any faster, because they would fly off, you know? The cars just know that if they'd go faster, like, maybe physically they could go faster, but their car just knows, you know? Maybe there's just there's like a cap on it. It knows. You know?
So once you get to a steady speed, you end up with a slightly different equation, which is to do with the driving torque to overcome rolling resistance and maintain steady speed on level ground, assuming no air resistance, is what's that? So the torque required is V, which is the speed that you're going at, over the rotational speed of the wheel multiplied by the rolling resistance. But how are we calculating rolling resistance? That's what I want to know. So it's pretty low. It just has some designated values for it. So ordinary car tires on concrete, for instance, is valued at 0.01 to 0.015. Interesting. Lots of examples for that. What's that? The coefficient of rolling resistance for a slow rigid wheel on a perfect elastic surface, not adjusted for velocity, can be calculated by square root of sinkage over the diameter of the rigid wheel. Look, heavy things would be slower, assuming all else the same, because of rolling resistance. Like, if you're just talking about going in a straight line, in a situation where there is sufficient downforce for it to not fly off, the lighter thing will go faster. And that is, I think, the situation that we're looking at within Mario Kart. Therefore, that is the answer to this question.
Nodders. I agree. I'm just
Pace
looking at reasons why it could be that heavier characters have a higher top speed. And yeah, like the only things I can see is the thing I said earlier of like the smaller cars are just, they have speed caps in them, even though technically they could go faster.
My logic
they
for saying
won't
it
because
is that
it's bad or something, you know.
the engine size classes in Mario Kart are the maximum that you're allowed, and the lighter classes have chosen to go with a smaller sized engine in order to be able to corner better.
Maybe they just have maybe they have smaller engines in their cars. Do smaller characters have smaller karts in Mario Kart? Like, even though they have the same car, is their kart smaller, or do they have like the same size kart but a different character in it? And they do have smaller karts.
There we go. I think we've got it.
If it is physically smaller, then that will explain it, surely. Well, actually, no, because if it's literally physically smaller, then surely you have less air resistance as well, which would just give you more speed.
Look, I'm seeing it.
But also, your engine's going to be
the size
different.
of the engine.
Yeah,
that's what I'm sticking with. That is the argument that it's the only one that I think can make this realistic, and I'm sticking with it.
We're assuming that on a smaller car they're going to have a smaller engine. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Sure, let's say that is it.
Yep.
That explains it. How do Mario Kart wheels not break/wear down?
Magic. Also, the laps are quite slow, so I mean, there's not many laps in a race, so they just don't have time.
You do 3 laps in a race, and then you change your tires. Like, F1 cars don't break, and they do like 5 laps to 10 laps sometimes on like large circuits, you know? Don't they? I don't know.
Do a lot more than that. They do have tire changes in F1, but like they have like 2 tire changes over like a 50-lap race. So, you know.
Okay, yeah, but like if they have like short little
their
laps
are a
like
lot longer as well.
Things. Yeah, because Mario Kart laps are quite small compared to like F1 tracks, which are like literally kilometers.
And in F1 they're going a lot faster, and they're putting a lot more strain on the wheels.
Also, that is true. The wheels in Mario Kart 8, they have like a levitation.
Oh.
They have a levitation mode, so half the time they're not even using their tires. So who knows what fucking happens then, because there's not even friction. They don't even have friction in that part, so who fucking knows, really?
They can still do drifts without them as well.
Who fucking knows? At that point. Why do you want your wheels hot for better traction? If it's hot, it's more...
Sticky.
moldable, right? Because the colder it is, the more rigid the rubber gets,
Yeah,
which
you
is
can get
less
more
bendable.
contact.
And if it's more bendable, it moves around it has better contact, which gives you better grip to move, so you have better traction. That's just I think that's all you can say.
Yeah.
Also, they're healed when not in use by the tiny Marios inside of each cart. That's why it's called Mario Karts. Says
I
Champ.
see.
I believe
They're
that.
literally made of Marios, and the
Yeah,
heavier
that-
carts just have more Marios in them.
That checks out. Is this like your mum calling every Pokemon a Pikachu situation?
Seems like
Are
it.
we calling every Mario character a Mario?
I don't know. I think my mum's learnt a lot about Pokemon over the years.
She?
She's not had much choice about
How
it.
many Pokemon can your mum just sum
Name.
up? Name.
Go
that's
on,
the
Mum.
word, yeah.
Name
I feel
as
like
many
my mum
Pokemon
could
as you
name like
can.
a bunch of Gen 1 Pokemon.
Saying,
For
I think
sure.
that's all we're going to get. I don't think we're going to get the more recent ones because my
Yeah,
brother and I
yeah,
have both
for sure.
moved away from home, and no, we haven't been going up to her saying, "Look, Mum, I caught a Pikachu." So,
You're not wrong, Champ. You're not wrong. I got a Pikachu. Do do do. You know what I want to see? I want to see you do a stream with your mum where you show her Pokemon and she has to tell you the name of them.
be a
I think that'd be
nightmare.
fun. I think that'd be
nightmare.
fun.
Be a nightmare.
I think that'd be fun. Okay. Mario Kart.
To be honest, I'm quite out of date on Pokemon as well. So
Can't believe this. I mean, so am I, to be fair. Like, I don't...
when they all
I
just
barely
switch-
know the latest ones. And
because I never had a DS or
Gross.
or did I?
The
No,
fuck?
my brother had a
Freak.
DS. I don't think I had one. Can't remember. I don't think I did. So, like, and then I've not owned any of the Nintendo consoles since only the ones that were still on Game Boy, the ones I.
We're finally gonna figure it out.
There is a bobblehead Pikachu in my brother's room. Also, Spheal under his bed. There you go.
That's two. That's two Pokemon we've named.
Yep, she knows a Spheal.
Feel. I mean, there's literally a Pokemon called Seal, right?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it-
true.
Which is so stupid. We're finally gonna figure it out. Are you excited? See, I
Yeah.
feel like I just genuinely didn't add it to this. Oh,
Pookie isn't a Pokemon.
Pookie.
Pookie.
Who's Pookie?
Pookie is Garfield's teddy bear from the books.
Oh yeah.
And I had one.
You're right. I'm trying to find your question. Oh, here it is. For some reason I never actually put it in here, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Bum, bum,
Yeah, Pookie is
bum,
still at home.
bum.
Nowadays, I just have minions.
No. Oh, I don't even have an... Oh my god, I didn't even save an empty one. Okay. Don't read this. This is not a real comment.
What the fuck?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about that one. This is not one where we're doing right now. I love that I filled that by just mashing the fill button a bunch and it expanded over it. That was great. Don't worry about it. Spoilers. Okay. You're getting a sneak peek into me adding a new one.
Oh, you're
Okay.
getting all kinds of insights into my childhood here. We named the rabbit after a Digimon. So,
What? A
Named it.
Digimon.
Yeah, Patamon.
Not Digimon.
Anyone in chat know Patamon and why that's a great name for a rabbit? That's right, I thought so.
I'm looking it up right now. It's a rabbit-looking Digimon.
Exactly.
It's got big ears. Is your hearing still changed? I don't think Wheat's hearing is still changed, but
I'm
we
alright.
can figure it out in a minute. So you get punched in the ear while practicing a martial art like kickboxing. If your hearing changes and remains that way for a day or so, is that a sign of concern? So what exactly happened to your hearing?
Got punched in the ear, mate. Hang on, I need to sneeze.
Yeah, but what changed about your hearing?
I felt like I was underwater, essentially. You know, when you get water in your ears. Didn't feel exactly like that, but everything kind of sounded a little
So
bit
where is
further away.
Jade when you need her to?
Exactly.
How long did it take for it to go away?
A while. Like on the first Elunia and the Moth stream, I'd had a bath just before then, and water got in my ear, and it was very painful. So I feel like what I got was a perforated eardrum, which
Yeah, that
obviously
might
would affect
be.
hearing. But it got better, as it is meant to do.
As it should. Yeah. So what bit happens? Like that, I think that is like the main thing that can happen. I don't really know what else would happen, because your ear, like your ear, is just a big tube of ear, and then there's your eardrum here, and then like here's the side of your head, and you've got like ear. Right. Tube. Are we doing medical ailments now? We always have. You've literally asked about a rash once. Yeah. What do you mean? So if you smash on this, situation. You'd have an air shockwave that would travel through here. And it would go boom, 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 and it would vibrate your eardrum a lot. Probably if it's and if you're unlucky, there's a lot of energy that is in that, and it would vibrate it too much, which could rip it or perforate it, or I don't know what exactly happens to it, but that breaks it.
Yeah.
Well, it probably doesn't like fucking straight up rip it in two, you know?
No, it's just like
I don't really know.
Hole.
Yeah. I don't really know exactly what it. I don't know. What does an eardrum look like?
It's a flap of skin.
Yeah, but like.
It's a good point. I've never specifically seen mine or anyone else's, so it's a good question.
Oh, okay. I'm looking at
like
a thing. I'm not going to show it up on screen, but yeah, that was the other thing I was thinking about, champ. The next option is, I'm not going to show up a realistic ear, but I can show you this. Actually, let's do that. Let's say the shockwave goes through here, right? And it doesn't rip your eardrum, but the shock still gets absorbed by the ear bones over here, right? So it still does something up to in here, which might then fuck with like any of the other nerves or shit in here, right? So that's also an option. Like any of this shit could have been slightly damaged because of it. Maybe even your fucking something in here could have damaged. But this is like, your eardrum is going to be the part that would have received the most impact, the most of the impact, right? So there's probably going to be like a tiny little bingus hole that happened. But who knows, really? But yeah, this is probably what happened, and I don't know how quickly an eardrum ruptured. Healing period. Did you bleed out of your ear? That's a good question, actually. No.
Nope.
It takes several weeks, about 2 months, for a ruptured eardrum to heal.
That would make sense. That sounds about right.
Did you like lose some hearing?
I had no noticeable blood. I didn't like. It wasn't harder for me to hear. It was just different for me to hear.
Was it like muffled?
I saw nothing or felt nothing to do with blood following the injury to my ear. Like muffled is an interesting way of putting it, and I think maybe accurate, but it kind of just felt like everything was just a little bit further away. Almost like there was almost an air barrier that sound had to travel through to get to me.
There was blood everywhere. Maybe there was blood, but it just didn't leak out of your ear.
Yeah, my mum's got some good advice for me. Next time, duck.
True.
Will do.
True. I like that. It's a good one. 1, I have mono, please send help. 2, I dropped my alarm clock on my foot the other day and it really hurt, and now there's a bruise. Is it going to fall off? It's already fallen off, the alarm clock. Why is it's a weird question. What a weird question.
What a weird person.
What a weird person. But yeah, it probably was like something like a ruptured eardrum. I don't know how much they bleed. I don't really know much about the blood vessels in the ear, but I assume it would have bled a tiny bit, and it would have either gone down here, which is why Champ asked about blood in the back of your throat, because your Eustachian tube connects your ear holes with your nose and mouth holes, right? Which is why if you've got pressure in your ears from, like, if you're on a plane or something, you need to like swallow, because that opens the Eustachian tube, which settles the pressure in that area. Because generally this is like kind of closed, but there's muscles here that can like open it, and motions like swallowing or just eating in general and stuff yawning as well opens it, which equalizes the pressure inside and outside of your eardrum basically. So there's that. I don't know. Well, if you close your mouth and nose and try to force air out of it, it hurts your ears. Yeah, exactly. If you close both, then you go, it pops your ears, which is not very good because that puts up higher pressure here than here, so it kind of pushes your eardrum out.
Yeah.
Which is not very good. Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, something like that happened.
Something like that happened.
One of those things.
Arguably, yes, this is quite bad. Yes, see a doctor about it. But who knows? It's probably too late at this point.
Yeah.
Even then.
It got better.
Yeah. I think generally, if this happens, though, do see a doctor. But yeah, the ear is a really interesting part of human body technology. You know what I mean? I think like it's one of my like favorite things about the human body. I think because there's just so much in just like that tiny part in your ear that happens. Like this entire thing is basically like your sense of gravity, you know, sense of self, because this controls how your brain knows where you're moving, you know. This controls how your eyes follow things, how your eyes know to, like, if you're looking at something and you turn your head, your eyes are not stationary, right? Because they're moving like against your head, and they have to move at exactly the same speed, right? This is literally a fucking speedometer inside of your ear. And it's really accurate because it needs to be one-on-one to how you move. Which is just like fucking crazy to me how like intricate these things are. It's just there in a little bingus. And it's literally so like this small. It's literally like the size of a coin. It's crazy. Don't move your eyes with it. Lock onto something. So hold something.
I see.
Or like,
so you want me to do like some gyroing? Okay.
So hold. Yeah, exactly. But your eyes stay exactly, because your eyes are doing exactly the opposite of what your head is doing, right? In motion.
Yeah.
That is actually a good test to see if anything inside of your ear got fucked. Like, can you walk on a line without falling off and stuff, things like that.
Oh yeah, I was completely fine for balance and shit.
If your balance is completely fine, then that's okay.
Yeah.
And that's probably not done anything in their
No, I seemed alright.
vestibular sense. It's interesting, but yeah, things like sometimes there will be something wrong with it, and that will it could also be caused by a brain injury, but
I don't think I got one of those.
yeah, I don't think that is what we got, because it was specifically in like the side of your ear, not like just a general thing. But like you can have problems with like
Being punched in the face.
yeah, true. But so if I would do this and I'd like follow it around, it's like your eyes don't. I don't know if you can tell. Let's see if I can get like real close. If I follow my eye around, I don't know if you can tell, but my eye like does little jumps. Right? Well, it shouldn't, because it should go smooth, right? Sorry. Yeah, no, it shouldn't, because it should go smooth. If I just do this, it does jumps, because if you're tracking on something, it's smooth. But if you're not tracking on anything, you like jump around basically. And if you moving quickly, that was it. It's all flooding back to me. It's been a while. But if you move quickly, your eyes should just like move over, right? But sometimes if there's any damage in your ears, in your vestibular system, one of your eyes will be like stepping back and like doing a little step. I think it's called nystagmus. Saccades, yeah. Nystagmus is when your eye does those little binguses, which is interesting. It's a condition of involuntary eye movement, which can be a thing. It can be so like looking at your eyes can be a thing. How you can, by looking at how someone's eyes are reacting, you can tell how their ears are doing, you know, because of that connection with it. It's interesting. Also, just one of the other things that is just interesting about the ear is in. So if like the sensory cells in these parts, cochlea sensor. Because there's two different kinds of sensory cells. You've got the hair cells that are just like literally hair, but there's also the other ones that are like they're basically these little blocks of gelatin with like little rocks on top of them. Right? They've got like a bunch of rocks on top of them, and those rocks will like wiggle and shit. And sometimes if you have a problem with balance, the way to fix that is to literally just like lie on your back and like roll the rocks back onto the thing. Like literally you have to lie on your back and then turn this direction and then turn that direction and then turn that direction, and then you've navigated them back, and that is the way to fix it. Which is really interesting and just quite funny to me how that just works, you know? Is wild how that is just a thing. Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, I learned that from my I had a medical like connection physics thing that I took. It was really interesting, and the teacher had done a lot with like vestibular system, and done testing with like people going into space and how that affects their vestibular system and stuff. And it was just, I don't know, I learned a lot, and that was like, I feel like I learned a lot from that, way more than anywhere else. That was really interesting, even though that was just like an optional thing. Yeah, that was good. Anyway, I could talk about ear things fucking forever because of that, but probably shouldn't do that. Anyway. ear rocks, small crystals of calcium carbonate, are found in your inner ear. The technical name for tiny stones wrapped in a matrix of protein is otoconia. They play no role in hearing, but rather part of the vestibular system. They're like just like up and down gravity, I think, because the other ones, the three semicircular tubes, are like the 3-dimensional rotations. And I think they're just straight up rotation, like translations even. So you go, it's just forward and backwards or something, right? I think is what I remember. Yeah, so the semicircular ones are pitch, roll, and yaw. But the other ones are... It's just so cool how, like, we use 3-dimensional coordinates, right? Because that's how it works. But our brain, like our body, literally uses 3-dimensional... Sorry, Chef. We're gonna move on from ear stuff, right? Like literally in a second. But it's just interesting how your body also uses 3-dimensional like angle coordinates. What's it called?
Oh.
They have a name. Cylindrical coordinates? What was it called? I don't remember. I don't know what the word is. Spherical? Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what you translate it to. Yeah, spherical coordinate system. Yeah. It's just interesting because your brain literally uses a spherical coordinate system in a way because it has those 3 angle things. I don't know. Things like that are just really cool to me, personally. Let's do another spin because because I've been talking a bunch and we has just been sitting there thinking about Pokemon or whatever.
Yeah, Pokemon.
Oh yeah, this. It's a good one. It's a good one.
About this topic. This. You could just leave that then as well. You wouldn't need to worry about changing it again. Topic.
True. We can
This.
just have it as this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason I said this was because it's a GIF.
Oh.
And the question is, why does this happen? Let's have a look at it. So, the pulse of the gas thrusters on SpaceX's Falcon 9 as the rocket boost stage guides itself back to Earth. Why does it do these pulses?
What was the description again?
It's the pulse of the gas thrusters on SpaceX's Falcon 9 as the rocket's boost stage guides itself back to Earth.
Right, so it's going back to Earth and is making these cool pulses on the way down. I mean, I guess that's just where the gas is being released. And presumably there's just the shape of the booster itself means that it's blocking off the gases in some directions.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Like
It's
when
just-
I first
but why
saw
is
this
it
GIF
doing
without reading
those pulses? Yeah, without reading. Yeah, what did you think?
without reading what this was, what I thought was a like meteor coming into our atmosphere. So what I was thinking it was a bunch of sonic booms from something coming in through atmosphere and getting like as the atmosphere gets thicker and thicker, it produces more and more because it has to slow down from its terminal velocity being produced from the more air resistance. Obviously, this isn't what that is at all. And I'm not sure it would look like that in the slightest. But it's what I initially thought with no background.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just presume that is just the leftover gas that's not being ignited by the rocket.
Okay, but why is it doing that?
Why is it doing that?
In
Because
those
the stuff
specific
going
angles and stuff.
because the stuff going straight down catches on fire, and the bits that it misses are the bits shooting off to the side, which don't get ignited, and therefore.
But
That's
why
just
is
what
it?
gets
But
left.
it's surely why is it doing these pulses of going down, 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 and then it shoots up a bit? Like surely there's a reason for that. It's not just like the thruster's so shit that like half of the gas is just going outside. That
Well,
cannot
I don't
be the
really
reason.
know what I'm looking at here.
I feel like what is happening is the thruster is shooting these pulses to stabilize the rocket, right? So that it's not fucking flying all over the place. Because the rocket needs to land, and because there's air everywhere, it needs to react to, like, there's fucking wind and shit everywhere, right? So the rocket needs to react to that, I think.
Yeah, sure, that could be it.
So it's probably
Realigning
doing
itself. But I find it odd that it's like firing in so many directions at once when it's doing that, you know? Perhaps it needs to. But
yeah,
I
there's,
would
there's
think,
probably
like-
just weird wind that it needs to shoot, like moon
Because
landing.
because then again, we don't know how far away this image is taken, so those could
Yeah,
be
it's a bit
shooting along the
hard to-
entire length of the rocket. Like, that could work. For instance, those pulses at the end where it goes as like almost a radar dish, like, or a radar symbol, sorry, type thing. The ones going down could come from the bottom of the rocket. The ones at the top could be coming from the top of the rocket. So in that regard, you're twisting it from both ends, but it's having the same overall effect from both of them. Or rather, each is providing the same individual effect to make a stronger combined effect. Like, that could be just what's happening. So
I think it's just to compensate with whatever other forces are working on the rocket to keep it stable.
Yeah,
Right?
just stabilization.
That's what it says, right? It's guiding itself back to Earth. So surely I think this is just like stabilization, or what Champ was saying, gimballing. I don't know. I've never played Kerbal, but that sounds like the right word for it.
Yeah,
I feel like
we
I've heard
just
that
trying
before.
to keep it pointed the right way.
Yeah,
Like
just
if it,
trying to
like
keep
if
the
it
rocket
goes like if it goes
like,
off center,
to
off
the
its
lands.
gimbal, so to say, then it automatically just fires force to put it immediately back.
Yeah,
So yeah,
I'd assume that's what's happening here. Yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
little bursts of engines, that would make sense. Like, I thought it was bursts of engines, but I couldn't connect what it was going to be from there. But yeah, if it stabilizes, makes sense.
That would make sense. Pog, question answered. Easy. We're speeding through questions today. Let's do
It's
one
brilliant.
more.
It's brilliant.
We can if you want to. I was thinking about it. Wise. Oh no,
What are
she's still
those?
here. Oh, she's
What
still
are
here.
those? It's very pretty. It is.
Were you just watching some birdies?
This is Zoe, the Bengal cat, and she meows.
Oh. You watching from the couch now? Is it because it's warm here?
Yep. I'm sure that the noises it's
She's
making are great.
chattering.
Oh, it's a cold cat that's dying. I see.
What?
It's always the case when you
These
see
are great points you're making.
animals acting strangely. They're secretly in distress. And this one's
Are you-
freezing cold and
What
shivering.
are you saying? Why is it
Someone
cold?
warm that cat up because it's chattering, the teeth are chattering. You know, shivering.
Fuck up. She's frustrated because she can't get to her prey. Oh no.
Prey being a heater.
Oh, this is a good one to end on, actually.
Ooh, quick fire.
Let's do a quick fire round to end it on.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna remove it for now. We can add it back when I get it. I added a few quick fires. Here we
Ooh.
go. 2 that are related to each other and then 1 something else. Why does stubbing your toe? Wait, actually, before we start, stop reading the quick fires. Stop it. What's it called?
You haven't given me much to
unread.
work on there. Is that the
Yeah.
first question from the quickfire? What's it called?
No, I'm getting us. It's
called
I just need to
quickfire.
check.
Uncertainly
real
accurate.
Quick.
Yummers.
I'm just changing the settings real quick.
Brothers Cider.
Shut up.
Xbox Game Pass.
Shut up.
Um,
I'm just making sure my browser audio isn't being saved because it's gonna get me DMCA'd if I play this. Okay. The cool, refreshing taste of yummers. Exactly.
Perfect.
Sorry. Quick fire. Okay, we've got about 2 minutes and 26 seconds to answer these. Okay, are you ready? We're gonna go right now. Let's go.
okay. What the fuck changed? What did you do?
I'm playing music. Why does stubbing your toe hurt so bad?
I imagine because a bunch of nerves and also bone being pushed into bone.
Do your bones have nerves to?
No, but I imagine that causes some of the aching feeling. Well, they must do actually, because I don't know. Good question.
How do bones have nerves? I don't know. It's a good question actually. We should figure that out at some point. Who can ever be
Yeah,
sure?
oh.
I mean, bones have nerves, but like how nervy are they? You know what I mean? But I feel like your toes, your extremities, like fingers and toes and stuff, have a lot of you have more neurons, right? More nerves.
Yeah.
So you feel things more. So I'd assume that also plays a part in it. Also, just generally, you're stubbing. You're just always stubbing your toe.
Yeah.
So that's
Well, the
the
act
pain.
of stubbing is
It's
painful.
also just
Like,
just a painful
I've-
act. Like if you do
like,
that with
I've
anything
stubbed
else,
fingers.
that also hurts, right?
Yeah, like I've stubbed fingers playing in goal, right? And like it's quite painful and they swell up. But like, what I'm thinking is, why is the act of stubbing in particular so painful?
Oh god, we're already halfway through. We need to keep going. Why do humans still accidentally bite their tongues? Like seriously, can biology just patch that in the next update, please? Why do humans bite their tongue? It's because your tongue is very large,
Yeah, it's in the way.
and it's
It's
just
much
like
bigger than it looks.
yeah. It's also just like we have a bad sense of how large your tongue is because you don't. It's a weird sense, like in your brain, like your hands and your tongue and stuff have way more nerves, so they feel like they're more. They feel like they're larger than they are, so it's hard to. Also, you don't feel your teeth, right? So it's really hard to have a good idea for that. And yeah, tongues are optimized for speech, not eating.
Yeah.
How does Kevlar armor work, and how come sometimes people die even if the vest doesn't get pierced?
Alright, you've missed one.
Or bite their cheek? Yeah, it's just the same
Yeah,
answer.
see above. Next.
See above. Yeah. No, the music's gonna end. We were too slow. We
Well,
fucked up.
it was your fault. We could have done it if you just read that third question out.
Well, we're not. Maybe we'll get to the last question next time.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll get to the last question next time. Too bad. Too bad. Bingus.
What a failure. Unbelievable.
Too bad. I like this
expected
idea
better.
actually. I like this actually. We just have a bunch of quick fire questions, and we have just a certain amount of time to get through them. And if we see how many we get through in that time,
Yeah.
I quite like that actually. I think that's a good idea. We can add. We can add more. Don't worry about that. Sure, it'll be fine. I'll move this one up for now, and then if we get more like shorter questions, we can. Oh shit! There's a all now. We can add them when we want to. Oh fuck's sake! God damn it! Do 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 bum 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, actually, I just had a way better idea. What about we just never? I don't make a quickfire thing, but we just have a short time to go through questions, and we just go through them and see what happens. Sometimes I just add it on the wheel, but I don't make like a specific quickfire one, so that if we land on the questions, it will we can answer them like fully, but if they're in a quick fire, we have to go try to answer them quicker. Does that make sense? Is that interesting?
Sounds good. How do we end up on a quick fire though?
Well, I
Is that
add
like-
it to the wheel. I just don't add it to. I don't make it one slide of quickfire questions. I just with quickfire we use the same pool of questions with the normal questions. You know what I mean?
I see. So we get quick fire, then we spin the wheel again, and the next few are quick fire.
Yeah.
Sure, that works.
Sure. Or we just go from the top or something. Not that way we can get some old ones done, you know?
Yeah, but that
'Cause
would,
the
I
new
imagine,
ones
be a
add
pain
through
to
the
then
bottom.
remove from the wheel. Unless you want to be like...
Well, yeah,
use
it
the
will always be a
quick
pain to remove from the wheel, but it will be fine.
fire. Sure.
So I'll add this one as a normal question, because I think it's actually a really interesting question. Holy shit. We've been streaming.
Mm-hmm.
We sure have been streaming.
We have streamed.
It's true. do you wanna say anything else? Is there any
No,
other questions
no,
that you
we've
want to
streamed.
talk about?
Stream done. Good job, everyone.
Stream? Check. Are there any more? Okay, here's an interesting thing. Any people in chat have any questions for us right now?
Oh my god.
Why is there a piece of shit? What gives Yummers its cool, refreshing taste? Well, let's ask our sponsor. I believe you'll find that Yummers is actually just incredible, and the cool, refreshing taste comes from
Sorry,
the
can you lean to your right,
ingredients.
please?
Yeah, sorry. It comes from the ingredients of love and pure excitement that we use when making it.
Further.
Wait, to my right.
Yeah.
Is that this way?
No, I specifically said to your right. Are you mirrored on camera?
Yeah,
You know
I am.
your left or right? Oh, I see. To your left then.
Okay, that's why I was confused. I was like, did you mean? I don't know. Straight love or gay love? Straight love specifically, because there was too much of that. So you know we can use that. A portion of the rainforest is burned with every can. Exactly. Do.
It's for the best.
Yeah. Buy Yummers now. Available in no stores, nowhere. Wait, put that. Would that if I say no stores nowhere, would that mean it is in some stores? Because of the double negative? Try to work it out.
I'm not sure. I think the meaning was clear though.
True. Anyway. Yeah, no non-stores haven't. If it's available in no stores.
Available
Nowhere.
nowhere. There we go.
I'm just giving no information, basically.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I'm only giving information about nowhere, which doesn't
Yeah.
help.
I
Because
think
you
you'd
don't
either
get any
say
information about anywhere
Available
else.
nowhere or not available anywhere. So. Yeah.
Lies. We don't need to mention that. Okay? Whatever it is you're thinking of, we don't need to do that. That's not how it works.
I'm sure they do, Wise, because like you could disguise it as a COVID test.
Is there much liquid in a COVID test?
Yeah. When you do a PCR, there is. Like you have to fill up a tube or something. You put your swab in a tube and send that off.
Okay. Sure enough.
And I'm sure there's as much in that tube as Wise is going to give people. So, yeah, about right.
Yeah, it says biohazard. Pretty sure.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure it genuinely says biohazard.
I could get one out. I mean, a PCR test, that is. And
Don't get one out, please. Don't get one out on stream week, please.
Let's go.
Don't do
Let's
that.
go.
That's good. Okay, we're done. We're done here. We're done here. We're going. I have a really good idea. I still have this scene. Oh god, it doesn't work. I don't have this scene. Never mind.
Nice. That required me to be on Discord, you dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that. Listen, I forgot about that, okay? Maybe I can alter that scene to be just both of us, and I use your stream.
Maybe.
We'd started
Maybe.
Young production, no.
Nom 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 nom.
Just don't. Just don't. Just don't.
Sorry,
just-
would you rather a slurping
just-
noise?
Just don't. Just don't. Just, I think, just don't. Have you ever considered not?
I consider that
think-
every day.
I think that's what you should do. Just don't. Just don't.
Interesting. Interesting.
I think you just shouldn't.
Interesting.
I've opened my fire escape in an attempt to cool down. How is it so hot inside your place? Like,
It's on
what?
fire.
It's on. That's why it needs
That's why
to
they
open
opened the fire escape.
No. No. Okay. Where are we going? There's a bunch of options.
You see, the building furnace. You see, the building is a furnace right now. They
The
had
building
to,
furnace. What the fuck?
they had to get
Why is
out.
there a furnace in your building? Is this
Because it's
fucking
on fire.
Minecraft?
It's on fire.
Options are, we can go to Lucky the Irish, Storm, Kazuchan, Overlight, Dr. Simon Clark, perhaps, Gemma, Chalk, and then there's like Theon, Shadow, Mousy, Catstrike, Kirsty, Harry, but
Bunch of
we're getting
people.
away. Bunch of
So we do
what do
Dr. Simon because it's science. Although
True.
Storm is also a good option because I haven't raided Storm in a long time. I suppose because they haven't streamed in a long time. Well, they have recently. But there was
I
a
feel
break.
like Storm is usually Wise. Wise. You love Dr. Simon, don't you, Wise? Wise just DM'd me something. Storm's doing with Zoe as well. Is Zoe there? Exciting.
Exciting.
We sound like Uncle Rogers there for a bit. What?
Because I sound so nice and pleasant. That's why.
Do you?
Yeah. When you hear my voice,
Do
you think
you?
that's a man with kindness.
Do you love Dr. Simon Clark, Wise? Because I feel like there was something about him that you
No.
didn't like, Wise. Can you please elaborate, Wise? Can you please elaborate for the class?
Oh.
Or do I need to read this piece of paper out loud that you've DM'd me? Really?
Really?
Did you say hi to him?
How many meters wise?
Where's this? Okay.
Perhaps one body's length of meters? Oh, for goodness sake. Let's... Oh, I see. I'm not sure
but
how
how-
I feel about that.
Does this sound like wheat? This sounds more like wheat. That sounds more like wheat.
What was that?
Anyway.
Slow motion version of a voice?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. Yo, guys,
Okay.
it's me.
Where'd you want to go?
How you all doing?
Shut up.
We're in slow motion right
Shut up.
now, but I am actually talking at
Do,
normal
do, do,
speed.
do, 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 do.
I don't
It
know.
was
I
on
made
Reddit.
my-
Oh god, not Reddit.
I said my things. You make a decision.
But why do I need to decide?
Oh, because it's uncertainly accurate. I'm just here to provide interesting information.
Isaac says yes, yes. There we go. Wise is decided. See, this is what I want.
No.
This is what I love. I love just being so indecisive that I just force other people to decide for me, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
It makes
same.
it so much easier. It's just really nice.
Fuck.
Rating Dr. Simon Clark. I will be back on Friday, probably, maybe with other people, maybe not. Who can ever be fucking sure? Maybe next week we'll do Uncertainly Accurate. I need to decide if I want to do like a week on, a week off. Maybe not.
Maybe.
I think it depends on if there's more. If there's a lot of questions. If you have any science questions, go post them in Discord or tweet them at me, because I love them. And then I will add them. And if we have a lot of questions, we'll do them next week. If we don't have too many questions, maybe we'll wait a week to gather more questions. Tomorrow, if you go to the channel Gay Ginger George, the lovely George will be streaming, and we all love George, so go watch George. Well, George said they would be, but maybe, I mean,
I'll be
probably will
kickboxing.
streaming. Around, yeah, at the evening. So go follow George anyway. No, it's gonna be evening tomorrow. So I think they said 7:30 or something around that time.
Yeah, I'll definitely be kickboxing.
Go put some love emotes in Simon's chat. They're doing
Awesome
Dungeons
cows.
and Dragons. I don't know if they're gonna.
Bye.
I don't even know if they're gonna notice. Oh, it's gone. Do your raid quick.
Done.
Okay, good.
We did it. We did it. Shut up, music.